allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Looks like we have a short agenda this morning. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second by Bruce, second by Mort. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We have minutes from our previous meeting. Are there corrections to that? October 26th.
I'll make a motion to approve our minutes for October 26th.
Motion by Jerry.
Second.
Second by Bruce. All those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We have two visitors. Anybody want to say anything? Hearing none, we'll move on to our first item of business. And I think Mr. Jacobson is probably going to send Bruce up to talk about this. So let's move down to tax abatement and talk about what we have to do. Want to fill us in on that?
Sure.
Mr. Tracy?
A letter from the CFO requesting the abatement of any taxes left on those three parcels that they acquired through public nuisance tax sale.
Okay.
They've taken care of everything up until now, and...
The city of Bode will take this property over,
Yeah.
then, right?
Yep.
Right.
So have they cleaned, has it been cleaned up yet, Mart? Is it leveled off?
I don't know.
we're
Okay.
trying to figure out where it is. So
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Third
Okay.
Street, but that doesn't tell me anything.
How many years is that behind you get that
But
$1,000,000 through?
this is just like a year and a half.
So it's not...
Because we'd cleaned up some of it already with them, correct?
Yeah, the
That's what I
tax
thought, the original part, that,
took care of.
so they're wanting to clean up the remaining taxes so they can...
So we've gone into
Yeah,
the
that's
Right.
what it's like.
And they may have it cleaned up, or... A lot of cities are doing this now, they're taking these over.
Yeah.
Renwick does a lot, starting to do a lot of this, so
Yep.
it helps them a little bit. A lot of times the city kicks in and pays for the cleanup, and then they try and get adjoining landowners to take it over so they can put it on the tax roll and maintain it. It's a good program, so.
Mhm.
So it's current years and current penalty, prior year, okay, penalties. I don't see anything wrong with it, you guys?
No. Should be fine.
I'll make a motion to approve this request for the statement of taxes in the city of Bode.
I'll second.
Motion second to approve the abatement of tax in the city of Bode. Other discussion? Probably a good way to get it back on the tax roll.
That's
Hopefully the
what we
neighbors will
hope.
be interested.
Mhm.
Keep it mowed.
You bet. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. We have another discussion down here. I'll let Chris tell us about possible changes to your benefits. What does this benefit?
Okay, secure benefits is our pre-tax flex spending. We're currently at 2,000 for the limit that, employees can, opt for coverage. And we have the option to move it up to 2,550 this year. It's entirely up to the Board of Supervisors to, say if they wanna do that, or if they just wanna keep it at 2,000.
I visited with Chris, he said there's only about 14 people on that. I think it's a good deal, but the liability we have, say for example, I decide to skip out of here, or resign in the middle of the year or quit, and I could have all 2,000 of that charged against me, and I have it, and the county has to pay for it. So there is some upside risk of increasing it, very slight probably.
Yeah.
We have 2,000 right now.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this, Chris. Of the 14 that are on it, do most of them use the 2,000, or do they use something less than that?
It's all different.
So you wouldn't have that many even at the 2,000 probably?
No.
Because, I mean, you've gotta know that you're gonna have some expenses, otherwise you
Right.
lose that after a period of time, too. The
Right, if you don't...
downside for the person taking it, they could
Right.
lose it if they don't use it or
The
have
only
to spend it.
downside is if we have a lot, and somebody knew they were gonna quit in the middle of the year, so they go in and charge it all against us, but I don't think that's gonna be happening very much. I know I take $100 a month, I think, $1,200. It's nice because that's all tax-free.
Right,
Mhm.
and then you don't have to put it in a MasterCard, it comes right out of there, or whatever you wanna do.
Usually pay your copay with it.
Mhm.
If you get a new set of glasses or something, then that's taken care of, too.
Right.
What do you think, folks? Think we need to go to 2,500 from 2,000, or leave it as is?
Well, what's the recommendation? I mean,
The company's just offering this, right?
Secure Benefit says we have the option to go up to $2,550 if we choose. Otherwise, we can just keep it at $2,000.
My guess is, Bruce, costs are rising, so they're just allowing the limit to go up.
An adjustment.
Yeah.
You know, imagine you only get to do that every so often?
I would, we haven't had a raise for a while. Well, maybe we did, though, we were 1,500 for a while.
I'm thinking we have.
Every so often.
Yeah. But every year it's renewed this time of year. And before I put my letters out to the employees, we need to know if we're gonna go with the 10,000 or the 20,000.
Really, I think it's adjusts itself, because if you raise it 2,500, you better know that you probably have that kind of expense. If you don't, you lose that if you don't spend it. So I don't think people are abusing, that's why I think, there's probably a lot, like Carl's only taking 1,200, so I don't think it would be a problem to raise it if there's somebody that really has
a lot of
monthly
needs.
cost. I mean, it's a good
Has a
deal
need.
for them, and I don't think that many are gonna use it at the full limit. I wouldn't. I mean, I've used it until last year. And I've went anywhere from, like Carl, from 1,000 to 2,000, but at 2,000 even, it's kinda hard unless somebody has something major done to recover that.
That's money you're gonna have to pay.
Right, you pay it no matter if you use it or not, and you got about 3 months into the new year to use it up, maybe?
No.
You don't even have that?
No, you have to use it by, December 31st.
Okay,
You can just
okay.
file your claims to be reimbursed.
Oh, but it has to be a claim within December 31st of the year.
Yeah, so, we're currently at 2,000, so we have the option to go up to 2,550, so I suppose you could probably go anywhere in there.
Well, yeah. So it's just up to us.
So I'm gonna have this procedure, that somebody had cancer or somebody real sick, it'd be a way to save some money.
I think it's an okay thing. I'll be bold, I'll make a motion that we raise it to 2,550.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to raise the amount we are allowed to have.
And maybe just for fun, Chris, when we, everybody's re-enrolled and the enrollment period's done, just maybe give us a printout or an idea of what the ranges were, just so we could see what, maybe just kinda take a look at it. See how many used it, what ranges they picked.
Yeah, okay.
So like for me, where I didn't use it last year, will I get asked again, or do I need to ask you if I wanna rejoin?
I needed to know what the figure was going to be before.
So then everybody that's ever been on it, does everybody get one, or just the one?
Everybody who qualifies,
You have to
Okay.
sign up every year, though.
yeah.
But you'll get a sheet to us to re-sign up,
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, in fact,
Okay.
I've got that
We have
information.
a motion to raise the secure benefit allowance to 2,550 from 2,000. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. It's not on the agenda. It is on the agenda. Application to permit snowmobile trails. We'll go ahead and do reports, maybe.
Yeah, that's
somebody
fine.
here will soon.
Oh, committee reports, I didn't
I didn't bring my calendar with me
yeah,
either.
shoot. Guess we met with Alyssa last week, but that's been recorded. What day was that, guys?
Friday.
That was just
It
Friday.
was Friday morning, 9.
God, where else did I go? I know I went somewhere Thursday.
Didn't you have a CFR meeting Tuesday?
No.
Not
No.
CFR, but,
Oh,
Garner.
yeah, was that last week? It was, wasn't it? Let me think about this.
We need to start writing your stuff now.
Yeah, I guess we do, Bruce, you caught me there. All right, I'll look this up, and while I'm looking this up, I'm gonna bring up something else it's kinda under committee reports, I guess. We got a letter here a while back on the bridge over Highway 3, about the safety and what we
The
could do.
overpass.
So I took it upon myself to call Todd and ask him a couple ideas. I think Rick had we mentioned the idea of putting up the height sign on there, like we do on the rat hole down here. I call it the rat hole. We put one there, it's a small one. I said, I think that would be a good idea, only get it a little bigger, so there's like 3 different sizes. So I think he's got a bigger size, and then he got signs warning ahead of the bridge. He said those are up. I guess I haven't been watching the road, because I gotta look for that. They may have just went up. So the DOT approved them, he's got the signs ordered, he's got the signs put on the bridge, but he hasn't gotten them yet. And I also said, maybe look to see if we can find somebody that can paint that steel beam yellow, something bright, it's kinda faded, it kinda blends in with the wood. So he talked to Opine, and he's trying to get some ideas worked out with the DOT for safety to get up there to paint it.
So it's more north.
He's talked, but he wondered if we knew of anybody else that maybe would paint like that, and I said, I'd ask you guys. He'd probably like to get 2 quotes if he could, but I'm not sure he's gonna be able to. He talked to Groenbeck and somebody else about it a little bit, but they all thought it was a good idea. and it would help, you know, it'd just draw your attention, so he's working on that. And, Rick turned in a deal on a well, open well,
Yeah.
on the trail,
Yeah.
which maybe should be looked at. Was he aware of that?
No, he didn't know it was there.
I didn't think he
I didn't know
probably
there was ever anything even out there, but there evidently was a building site along the trail at one time, and...
And then last week, sometime they cleaned up, they got out there and flipped off some of the debris off the dam, and they got that trolley cart, you know, that was kinda hanging there and catching trees all the time. They tried to take it down, you just can't take it down and handle it, so they take it down and let it fall in the water, and then they go out and a couple of weeks, they'll find it laying somewhere and they'll pick it up, so they've been doing their usual maintenance, and Todd's been really good about keeping things up, you know, they've been real busy cutting trees again this year, I think, too, so. Yeah, I guess I had my CSS meeting in Garner, and that would have been on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And just had a general discussion and went over, some budget items, and, there was still a lot of discussion going on the, you know, all the changes that are coming, and as far as these MCOs, these four that we're gonna work with, and what parts of it they're gonna handle, what parts of case management, and I think there's a lot of undecidedness yet. It's supposed to be all laid out, but it hasn't, you know, been formalized completely yet. And the other thing we talked about was jail diversions, and there's a group that's been meeting on that. And I'm gonna try to get together sometime this week with Dean and Kathy and myself, try and figure out how we can look at that, or what we can do to work on this. I mean, they wanted us to vote on a policy to follow, but I said, you know, none of us have really talked to our sheriffs individually as supervisors, or our CEO, or our directors for, you know, like Kathy. So I said, wouldn't it be a good idea if we all went back and seen what we could do, or what they're willing to do, and then get back to kind of see if this is the right policy we want to follow? So most of them felt that way too, because they hadn't really seen this idea until they put it in policy form. So sometimes they get running a little bit, they want to get policies out there, but you don't have things in place to make those policies work. And I said, you better take a little time and let us talk to our sheriff departments, because some of them are gonna be willing to work, some aren't gonna like the, you know, some departments don't get along as well as others. I think it's kinda up to us to make sure that they're on the same page of what they're gonna do, so.
Was there any discussion about getting a blue ribbon committee some from the region, some from the various supervisors for the state of Iowa, and lobby for the legislature? You know, the way they attacked the gas tax, they had a committee, and they knew the legislators, and they went through, and about all these legislators know about this, they talk about how much it's gonna cost, they don't know anything about delivery. So they were talking about getting a committee and really educating.
I'll ask them about that
You
for the
don't,
next
you know,
meeting.
get involved with that,
It would make sense, I guess, so.
because, you know, we don't.
That's how you get the
Most of us
point.
don't know anything about it, and legislators know less.
They want facts and numbers and actual, you know, results and stuff. They did talk a little bit about, these, you know, they're breaking up these large group homes, like in Clear Lake, you know, or Opportunity Village, and getting people out on their own. And Rick from up there, that talks from, Clear Lake, he did present good reports, so there's good, solid numbers, and they're doing interviews with these adults as they get into their own living, and what's working and what's not, and they're finding really good results. So those are gonna be good numbers that can be used to pass on to the state to show them how things are working with these changes and stuff. But it's very costly to take these individuals out of these group homes, you know, and then you have to find individual housing or condos and stuff. But the one thing about Clear Lake is they've been real proactive, and the community really believes in that, what they do up there, and they've been real helpful in helping them fund and finance and help get some of these projects off the ground. So then I turned around and asked Rick, what's gonna happen to the Opportunity Village Center? I mean, now all of a sudden we got this big open complex on a nice grassy area that, you know, are they gonna utilize it? And he said the community is working with them on that too. I think there's like 8 type units in there, that buildings they can utilize. I think 3 or 4 of them are already being utilized, like they have an autism program down there, and they've got a couple other things going that they're gonna probably be able to utilize that. The hardest thing I see is when you close these big units, if it's well maintained, what do you do with them? And then they sit empty. You know, if it's an old building, you just tear it down, but if you've ever been to that campus, you know, if you ever go through Clear Lake, it'd be great to drive back behind, just drive through that campus area. I mean, I'd only been there a couple times till I got on this board, and man, it's really a nice area. I mean, it's got a lot of open area, grass areas, and there's building complexes that can be used. They're not old, they're well maintained, so. So I'm happy they are able to do something about that, so.
Kinda like old school buildings.
Yeah,
Yeah, what do you do with them once you close them?
yeah, the beauty of these are more low-profile units. That they do have flat roofs on a lot of them, but they're just very well maintained, so. Fortunately, they're seeing along with that autism center, they've got a husband and wife psychiatrist on board now, so they've got a exceptionally good program going on there right now, so hopefully they can maintain that, so. All right, that's all I had.
I'm assuming that,
Did she get the switch on?
Hmm?
did you happen to turn the camera on today?
What?
Did you turn the camera on today?
I did.
She did?
Okay. She's
I was wondering if you did, since we got to do it.
Mark,
No, after that nice speech, I was hoping somebody...
Now I gotta do it all over, Jerry.
There's a question in us if we didn't have it.
I flipped the switch anyway.
Yeah.
I saw you do it.
I think
Did we have
when...
Go ahead. Work session Friday, did Jerry say that?
Yes.
Okay.
He did mention it earlier. Wednesday, I was down at the LAC talking with Dean about signage, and, I think we come up with, we're gonna do some 8-inch aluminum letters. It's gonna say Humboldt Law Enforcement, then center down below that. So we got about a 10-foot wall to put it on. It's gonna be about, just a shade over 8 feet long and 30 inches tall. Just kinda now trying to decide whether it's gonna be silver or kinda bronzy color. I gotta talk to the window people and find out what color the door is gonna be next to it.
Terry's out there, they can get them in any color.
Yeah, he's the guy we're getting it
Yeah,
from. We just,
Terry will...
He's really good.
When you start asking different options,
yeah.
it'll overwhelm you, the
Yeah,
amount of different...
and he gave us
colors he can give
a
you.
very reasonable quote, I thought, for putting them up, and so that looked good. We just gotta now decide on color on that. Thursday morning, we did a walkthrough with, down at the LAC with the dispatch people, making sure that all the electrical stuff is where they want it before they start sheet rocking that, kinda making sure all your data ports and everything are in the spots where they're supposed to be, or if they need to add any outlets and things like that, and, just kind of a general walkthrough, make sure everything's covered before they cover everything up with sheet rock, so they'll be there this week sheet rocking and taping. That's moving right along, they're still saying they're gonna be on time, so I'm a little concerned about the window guy. He hasn't been there yet, and it takes...
That's kinda important, that windows.
Yeah.
You contractors are all the same.
So...
Watch it now.
But, they say they're gonna have it done, so...
Plastic in November and December isn't a good option.
Well, you put 3 layers on it, helps.
3 big layers.
But, so that's gonna keep moving along, and then Friday I had that work session with Alyssa. That was it for me.
Okay, Wednesday the 28th, had Citizens Advisory in Cherokee. Went through the budget, paid down debt $250,000 since, the new director took over, that Corey Turner. He's doing pretty good, so we're still 3 full-time nurses short. They also got new plastic chairs for all the inmates, or the residents in, Cherokee, so in the mental health. And they can't be picked up and thrown because they're all full of sand. They're hollow, and they are heavy. You can't move them even hardly.
Wow.
So, let's see. Admissions are still full. They getting a lot of kids from, Mount Pleasant and, Clarinda. They're just kids, but, they stay for 8 or 9 days and then they're released. They're gonna receive $650,000 for maintenance for next year. They're gonna hope they can get their power station completed. They've been working on a new power station down there for... And then later that afternoon, the 28th, at DCAT in Webster City. Same budget's the same for next year, for 16 as it was in 15. All our contracts are going good but one, that mental health in schools. we've got a problem, on, I really can't talk about it much, but, the contractor is being investigated for something, and until that's settled, we can't say too much, so. And then, I guess that work session on Friday.
On Tuesday, I had, the Udmo meeting, they had it set up in Emmitsburg, had us lined up for our call-in. Only problem was they didn't have the ability to have the call-in, so we were all on the call-in side and got to visit for 45 minutes while they tried to figure it out, couldn't call in, so other than that, had my Friday session with Alyssa.
Very good. On Wednesday morning, we had a daycare meeting downtown, and it's going pretty well. The city's gonna remodel the old fire station, and that will hold approximately 65 kids, depending on the age level. It will be paid back to the city. Very soon, they're gonna try to hire a director to go ahead and coordinate all this. Hopefully, this gets final approval before very long. It's already been approved by the city council, just a matter of putting it together. And there's need for, according to the survey, over 150 kids. This is just going to stopgap. There's so many people, in fact, we've heard from the school, we've heard from the hospital, that people have turned down jobs because they didn't have daycare. And it's hard to believe, but we gotta get something. Look at towns around us. We have people driving to Gilmore, and they're full, and we have these little daycare operations around town, they're full. They're gonna charge just a little bit more than these locals do, so we'll put them out of business, but most of those people said, go for it, and we're tired of doing it. So I think it's something that's gonna be good for a 30-mile area, really.
So Carl, how are they gonna pay back them though, then how are they gonna set that up? You said
Well,
they're paying back?
it costs out, after you pay the expenses and everything, there'll be some profit made, to eventually pay back to the city what they invested. to
Okay, so is the city gonna actually hire the daycare providers and pay them?
The director will be on the city payroll,
Okay,
and they'll run the bank, run everything through the director, everything else will be handled internally,
okay.
employees. That's the plan right now.
So the profit from above and beyond what the cost to operate it, pay the people that are running it, will be fed back to the city.
That's great. Okay, we had that Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, or Wednesday evening, I had a Midas meeting. Cliff's gone on vacation, you probably saw his picture in the paper this morning, military guy. Anyway, we had a couple items. We finally approved the purchase of 2 more buses. We got permission to get rid of 2 old buses. And they moved the money around, they have some excess funds, they didn't want all in one bank, so we moved that around so you don't have liability of not having too much money in one bank. Other than that, it was a pretty quiet meeting, it was about as long as our meeting this morning, very short.
What's the status on the building here?
It's been delayed for a year as far as I've been able to hear.
But they do have a location, right?
I think so, I don't know much about it, they were
Okay.
talking about that before I went on.
Okay,
But I did hear a comment that the project had been delayed for a year.
okay,
That's about as much as I know about it.
all right.
On Thursday, we had an all-day workforce training meeting down in Des Moines, and board members were asked to attend. There's about 160 or 70 of us there. Some of them are city mayors, some are elected officials, some are supervisors. They put us into 3 different rooms, and we went through and learned what we're supposed to be doing on the board. We had Branstad and Reynolds talk to us for a while, they told about some of the reports, some of the initiatives we have. Brand said something about a new initiative in Iowa, Future Ready Iowa. By the year 2025, they hope to have 70% of the workforce that require at least some education beyond high school, not a 4-year degree. But a lot of these programs the workforce has gotten, a lot of the schools have gotten, you gotta get some additional training, and most employers are running additional training now, whether it's welders, or whether it's computers, or whether it's painters, or something. They just can't drop out of high school, won't have anything, and you'll have to have something beyond high school, the way it sounds. A lot of cooperation. You hear about the STEM program they got in high school, which is science, math, technology, engineering, that kind of thing. They have advanced manufacturing. Brent said, told about he's up to Diamond Global at Orange City the other day. And you think that being a dirty old hole, you know, he said, just like a restaurant. so clean. That's the kind of manufacturing you're getting into. You have to have some training to be able to do those kind of things. Most people think a job, workforce development is an unemployment office. That's the least of their jobs. You know, they have all kinds of programs to retrain people, jump on the train, jump off the train, work a while, train. It's a great operation, and
Well, they have a temporary job service filling too, don't they? 'Cause like Pioneer and Renner
Right.
has made some changes, and they're needing help, and all of their temporary employees come through that workforce development now, so it's being utilized.
And they screen those people pretty heavy. You walk in a job and say, I want a job. Well, that's the least thing you want to do for people. They need to find out why they want that job. It's usually they're out of money. They want that job for a little while, they go out and pioneer and work for a while, and they're back in trouble again. So they get into a program that's gonna be more permanent. Apprenticeship jobs, those kinds of things. They made some comments about the average student graduating from high school today will have six different jobs in 3 different career fields before he gets out of work. So you have to be pretty diversified. There's no such thing, most of us don't graduate from high school, get one job and stay with it the rest of your life. There's gonna be 6 jobs in 3 different career fields. That's what the kids can expect now when they go to high school. So there's a lot of training and workforce development. This new program they adopted, WIOA, I don't know what it stands for, Workforce Information Opportunities Act. It was passed with a fix, and that's replacing a lot of programs within the workforce development. So it's a pretty good program. If you know people unemployed, underemployed, disadvantaged, all kinds of things, ship them down to the office there, and they'll get them going. Okay, that was all day Thursday. On Friday, we had our meeting here with economic development. That was the extent of my meeting. I think most of you got, the thing from Paul on the right-of-way, snowmobiling, skimming. He told me on the phone it's exactly the same as last year.
No, that's not
He
fair.
sent a copy of it. I thought he'd be here to discuss it with one of the guys, but he was of the opinion it'd be all right to approve it as written, because of what we had passed last year. The only thing it says in there, proof of insurance, some years they get it, some years they don't.
Yeah.
He always adds that, to
They
make
always
sure they
have
get
it,
them.
just, they may not have it yet.
In talking with Paul, I didn't see any problem with, he thought it was all right, I guess it's all right to approve it. Do you guys have any concerns as you read through it?
See, last filed in 9/2013, so that's a little over 2 years on that insurance since we've seen it. I hope they get that to us, 'cause other than that, I don't see anything.
Yeah, I'm sure Paul will check on that one,
Yeah.
make sure he gets that insurance.
And who knows, we may need that next week, it may snow.
Yeah, watch your mouth.
Careful,
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah.
That's a dirty word.
So I think we'd be all right to go ahead and approve the application for permit for snowmobile trail grooming.
I'll move that, we do that.
Give a motion by Bruce,
I'll second.
motion by Rick, to approve the application for snowmobile grooming presented from the engineer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Do we have anything else that we need to bring before the board this morning? I have here, and I think we'd wait till Vicki gets back, the annual meeting coming up for the drainage report.
Oh, I saw that too.
December 4th. Normally, she signs us all up for that, so I'll
Right.
keep it laying here. When she gets back, we'll take a poll and see how many want to sign up. Looks like a good program.
You know what, everybody's gonna go, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put
I
a
like
sticky
that.
note on there, sign us all up, and then pay you'll be ready to go.
Keep my program.
Okay. I can make a copy of that too.
She can make you a copy.
Sounds good. Anything else? I entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.